Welcome back to Empowerment Library, where we explore books that help you grow and succeed. Last time, we looked at Tiny Habits by B.J. Fogg. Today, we start The Millionaire Next Door by Thomas J. Stanley and William D. Danko, uncovering the quiet, disciplined habits behind real wealth. Let's get started.
Introduction. The hidden truth about wealth. The Millionaire Next Door shatters the myth that wealth equals luxury. Based on years of research, authors Thomas J. Stanley and William D. Danko reveal that most millionaires don't flaunt their money. They live modestly, drive used cars, and quietly build wealth. The book highlights the difference between income and net worth. Many high earners spend too much trying to look rich, while true millionaires focus on discipline, frugality, and smart planning. Through real stories and data, the authors show that lasting wealth comes not from luck or inheritance, but from consistent, intentional habits. This book is a practical guide to financial independence, one built not on flash, but on mindset and behavior.
Chapter 1. Meet the Millionaire Next Door. In the eye-opening first chapter, The Millionaire Next Door invites readers to reconsider everything they think they know about wealth. Forget the images of millionaires stepping out of Lamborghinis, flaunting designer suits, or living in opulent mansions. Thomas J. Stanley and William D. Danko reveal a startling truth. The typical American millionaire is far more likely to be living in a quiet, middle-class neighborhood than on a flashy estate. Through years of meticulous research and interviews, the authors uncover that most real millionaires live below their means, not above them. They budget carefully, invest wisely, and prioritize financial independence over status. Instead of chasing trends, they chase long-term goals. They often drive used cars, avoid debt, and buy clothes off the rack. The chapter introduces two central archetypes. Prodigious accumulators of wealth, pause. Individuals who have amassed far more wealth than expected for their income level. They are disciplined savers, strategic investors, and live frugally, no matter how much they earn. Under accumulators of wealth, UAWs. Those who may earn a high income but struggle to build lasting wealth because they spend excessively and prioritize lifestyle over saving. Stanley and Danko emphasize that being wealthy isn't about how much you make, it's about how much you keep. The authors use hard data to show that many millionaires don't inherit their wealth, they build it themselves, quietly and consistently. Their wealth is often invisible, hidden behind modest homes, sensible choices, and a mindset rooted in long-term thinking. This first chapter sets the tone for the rest of the book, offering a bold challenge to the cultural narrative of what it means to be rich. The authors urge readers to stop idolizing flashy lifestyles and start studying the habits of the millionaires next door, because those are the habits that lead to true, lasting wealth.
Chapter 2. Frugal, Frugal, Frugal. In this revealing chapter, Stanley and Danko underscore the single most consistent trait shared by America's self-made millionaires: frugality. It's not flashy jobs or massive inheritances that set them apart. It's their steadfast commitment to spending less than they earn, year after year. The authors argue that frugality is the cornerstone of wealth building, and without it, even a high income can lead to financial instability. The image of the millionaire driving a luxury car and vacationing in five-star resorts is quickly dismantled. In reality, most millionaires drive used, reliable cars, live in modest homes, and take practical vacations, if any. Their focus isn't on showing off wealth but preserving and growing it. Frugality, in this context, doesn't mean living like a miser or depriving oneself of all pleasure. Instead, it means being intentional with money, prioritizing needs over wants and value over status. Stanley and Danko share compelling stories of individuals who earn six-figure incomes yet live paycheck to paycheck because they try to look rich, contrasting them with millionaires who quietly accumulate wealth through strategic budgeting, thoughtful purchases, and a strong savings ethic. These millionaires don't chase consumer trends. They create financial freedom by avoiding debt, delaying gratification, and focusing on long-term goals. What makes this chapter especially powerful is its challenge to a deeply ingrained cultural narrative: that success must be outwardly visible. The authors explain that true financial success often looks like restraint, not indulgence. The millionaire next door doesn't care about impressing others. They care about independence, security, and peace of mind. Frugality is portrayed not as a restriction, but as a form of empowerment. It allows people to make choices based on what matters to them, not what society expects. This shift in mindset from consumption to conservation is what separates those who build wealth from those who merely appear wealthy. In essence, frugal, frugal, frugal is a call to arms for anyone serious about long-term financial success. It teaches that accumulating wealth isn't about how much you earn. It's about how wisely you manage what you have.
Chapter 3, Time, Energy, and Money. In Chapter 3, Stanley and Danko shift the focus from how millionaires spend their money to how they spend their lives. Specifically, how they allocate their time, energy, and financial resources. This triad, they argue, is the secret behind sustained wealth accumulation. Millionaires are not just wise with their bank accounts. They are intentional with every hour of their day and every ounce of effort they exert. Rather than chasing distractions or indulging in time-consuming luxuries, self-made millionaires consistently dedicate their most valuable resources to activities that enhance their financial well-being. That might include researching investment opportunities, managing their businesses, networking with like-minded professionals, or simply reviewing their financial goals and budgets. Every decision is filtered through the lens of long-term benefit, not short-term pleasure. This chapter reveals that true wealth builders live with a deep sense of purpose and discipline. They don't just hope to succeed, they design their routines around success. Many millionaires schedule time each week for financial planning, goal tracking, and strategic thinking. They understand that every wasted hour is a missed opportunity to grow, learn, or build something of value. Stanley and Danko also highlight how millionaires are protective of their energy. They avoid draining environments, toxic habits, and unproductive relationships that might steer them off course. Instead, they surround themselves with people and projects that align with their vision. Energy is seen as a currency, just like money, and it's invested with care. Equally important is how millionaires treat money not just as a tool for consumption, but as a vehicle for freedom. They're not interested in signaling wealth through flashy cars or designer clothes. Instead, they focus on growing assets, eliminating liabilities, and securing a future where they can live on their own terms. Every dollar is seen as a potential building block toward independence. This chapter makes it clear that wealth isn't just built in bank accounts, it's built in calendars, mindsets, and daily habits. Millionaires are masters at aligning their time, energy, and money with their long-term financial aspirations. That alignment is what drives their success. The takeaway? If you want to become wealthy, don't just ask how much you're earning. Ask yourself, how am I spending my time? Where is my energy going? Is my money working for me or just being spent? Answering those questions with intention is what sets the millionaire next door apart from the rest.
Chapter 4. You Aren't What You Drive. In this eye-opening chapter, Stanley and Danko take aim at one of the most persistent myths about wealth: that rich people showcase their success with luxury cars and high-end brands. Contrary to the stereotype, the authors reveal that most self-made millionaires don't drive status symbols. They drive sensible, cost-effective vehicles. The data shows that many millionaires opt for used cars, mid-range models, and vehicles known for reliability rather than prestige. Brands like Toyota, Honda, and Ford are far more common in their garages than BMWs or Mercedes. Why? Because for them, a car is a tool for transportation, not a trophy of achievement. Stanley and Danko argue that buying expensive cars is often a financial trap, not a sign of true success. Luxury vehicles depreciate rapidly, incur higher insurance and maintenance costs, and offer little to no return on investment. Yet many high-income earners, particularly those who are not wealthy, fall into the trap of using cars to signal status. These people may look rich, but their finances often tell a different story. Millionaires, by contrast, resist this pressure. They understand that every dollar spent on a flashy vehicle is a dollar not invested in assets that can grow their net worth. Their mindset is built around long-term value, not short-term image. They view car purchases through the lens of utility and efficiency, not ego. This chapter reinforces one of the book's central themes. Real wealth is quiet. It doesn't crave validation or public attention. Instead, it thrives on practical decisions, delayed gratification, and financial discipline. The key takeaway? You aren't what you drive. True financial independence comes from making smart, humble choices, not trying to impress others. If your goal is lasting wealth, choose value over vanity. Your future self will thank you.
Chapter 5, Economic Outpatient Care, EOC. In this pivotal chapter, Stanley and Danko tackle a surprising obstacle to wealth: well-meaning financial support from parents to their adult children, which they label Economic Outpatient Care, EOC. While such assistance is usually offered out of love, the authors warn that frequent or substantial financial help can unintentionally sabotage a child's path to financial independence. Drawing from their research, the authors reveal that most self-made millionaires received little or no ongoing monetary support from their parents. Instead, they were pushed, by necessity, to develop financial self-discipline, budgeting skills, and a strong work ethic early in life. This struggle, while challenging, built the foundation for long-term wealth. By contrast, the children of affluent families who receive consistent EOC, whether through cash gifts, rent payments, or help with major purchases, often end up less financially secure. This support, meant to ease the burden, can unintentionally foster dependency, entitlement, and poor money habits. Instead of learning to live within their means, recipients may adopt lifestyles they can't actually afford on their own. Stanley and Danko make it clear: EOC often delays, and sometimes destroys, wealth accumulation in the next generation. Children who grow up expecting financial bailouts are less likely to take responsibility for their own success. They're also more prone to living above their means, failing to budget, and avoiding long-term planning, traits that erode financial stability. However, the authors do not suggest abandoning support altogether. Rather, they advocate for a balanced approach: help children develop financial literacy, encourage them to make independent decisions, and provide assistance only when it aligns with lessons in responsibility and self-reliance. The core message is simple but powerful: giving too much can take away more than it gives. If parents truly want to help their children become wealthy, they should equip them with the tools and mindset to earn, save, and invest wisely, not just offer financial shortcuts. This chapter challenges conventional wisdom and offers a powerful reminder: wealth is built not just with money, but with character, discipline, and independence.
Chapter 6, Affirmative Action, Family Style. In this thought-provoking chapter, Stanley and Danko examine how family financial dynamics can either promote or undermine wealth accumulation across generations. They critique a common yet flawed approach: parents who distribute financial assistance equally among their children, regardless of each child's behavior, needs, or financial responsibility. This well-intentioned affirmative action within the family can produce unintended and damaging consequences. Rather than encouraging responsibility, equal financial treatment can reward poor money habits and penalize discipline and self-reliance. A child who lives beyond their means may continue receiving support, while a financially prudent sibling receives nothing more, effectively punishing good behavior and incentivizing bad habits. Stanley and Danko highlight that millionaire families often raise children with a strong sense of accountability, frugality, and independence. Instead of shielding them from hardship, these parents teach their children to work for what they want, delay gratification, and make thoughtful financial decisions. These values are more important than any inheritance or gift, as they build the internal compass required for lasting wealth. The authors stress that true financial parenting isn't about treating children equally, it's about treating them wisely. This includes recognizing which children are capable of managing support responsibly, and which may need more education and structure before receiving assistance. It also involves having honest conversations about money, values, and expectations. Importantly, this chapter reveals that wealth is not just a matter of dollars and cents. It's a reflection of deep-rooted family culture and character. The lessons parents choose to pass down can either empower future generations to thrive or enable a cycle of dependency and poor decisions. The key takeaway: how you teach your children about money matters more than how much you give them. When families approach wealth with intention, clarity, and values-based guidance, they set the stage for generational success, not just in bank accounts, but in life.
Chapter 7, Find Your Niche. In this chapter, Stanley and Danko reveal one of the most surprising secrets of self-made millionaires: they often earn their wealth in practical, overlooked, and unsexy professions. Contrary to popular belief, The path to prosperity doesn't require working on Wall Street or founding a tech startup. Instead, many millionaires quietly build their fortunes in niche fields like pest control, plumbing, welding, or running small, local businesses. The authors highlight that these professions are often less crowded and more stable, offering steady income and lower overhead costs. In many cases, these niches are essential services with high demand and low glamour, meaning they're less likely to attract competitors driven by prestige or status. This gives financially savvy individuals the chance to dominate their market, build strong client relationships, and accumulate wealth steadily. A key insight in this chapter is that entrepreneurship plays a major role in wealth creation. Many millionaires don't just work in their niche, they own the business. This ownership allows them to control costs, scale operations, and reinvest profits wisely. Rather than chasing high-paying but high-expense careers that often come with lifestyle inflation, millionaires focus on net income, not just gross income. Stanley and Danko emphasize that the right niche can become a powerful engine for financial independence, especially when paired with strong money management skills and a commitment to living below one's means. These individuals choose their industries with intention, looking for opportunities where they can add unique value, solve problems, and grow steadily without unnecessary risk. Ultimately, this chapter encourages readers to rethink the connection between prestige and prosperity. The takeaway is clear: you don't need a flashy career to become wealthy, you need a focused, disciplined strategy in the right niche. By carving out a corner of the market where your skills are valued and your expenses are controlled, you can build a fortune where others might least expect it.
Chapter 8: Jobs, Millionaires versus Heirs. In the closing chapter, Stanley and Danko draw a powerful distinction between two types of wealthy individuals: self-made millionaires and those who inherit their wealth. Their research reveals a compelling truth: the vast majority of American millionaires are first generation. They didn't inherit their fortunes. They built them, step by step, through discipline, consistent effort, and smart financial decisions. These self-made millionaires typically develop strong habits of frugality, long-term planning, and personal accountability. Their wealth is not the result of luck or a windfall, but the outcome of years of intentional choices, living below their means, investing wisely, and staying focused on financial independence rather than outward appearances. In contrast, the authors find that heirs often struggle to maintain inherited wealth. Without first-hand experience earning and managing money, many lack the financial literacy, motivation, and resilience that wealth preservation requires. The comforts of inherited money can sometimes breed complacency or entitlement, leading to unsustainable lifestyles and poor financial decisions. Stanley and Danko caution that relying on inheritance without cultivating discipline and sound financial habits can undermine long-term prosperity. They also stress that passing down wealth should involve passing down values, such as work ethic, delayed gratification, and responsible money management. The core takeaway is that true financial independence comes not from what you're given, but from what you build. Wealth that is earned tends to be more deeply appreciated and more wisely managed. In this way, the millionaire mindset is less about money itself and more about the character and behavior that sustain it. This final chapter reinforces the book's central message. Becoming wealthy is less about how much you make and more about how you think, act, and spend. Whether you're starting from scratch or preparing the next generation, the keys to lasting wealth lie in self-reliance, thoughtful planning, and consistent habits.
Appendices: practical tools and real-world applications. The appendices provide hands-on tools, like net worth trackers, budgeting templates, and spending audits, to help readers apply the book's wealth-building principles. Through real examples, such as an engineer who cut unnecessary expenses to boost investments and a business owner who combined budgeting with frugality, the appendices show how disciplined financial habits lead to growth. They also offer guidance on goal setting and progress reviews, empowering readers to turn knowledge into lasting wealth.
Thanks for joining Empowerment Library as we explored The Millionaire Next Door and its secrets to real financial success. If you enjoyed this episode, please like, subscribe, and hit the bell to stay updated. Next time, we'll dive into The Power of Now by Eckhart Tolle, a guide to living in the moment. Stay empowered, one book at a time. See you next episode.